Hey guys, it's Raphael here, and so recently I've gotten into a game known as Airsoft. Well, not essentially a game, but it's some form of game where you essentially have like these airsoft replicas which look similar to real life guns or real life firearms, real life rifles, real life sniper rifles, DMRs, handguns, etc., etc. But essentially I've selected the role of sniper, which entails that I of course have to be silent and sneaky. So that means I need to have the proper BDU, otherwise known as battle dress uniform, which I do. I've selected an M81 camo, although that is subject to change due to the fact that I am located in a desert and I would actually need something maybe a bit more lighter compared to the M81 camo, otherwise known as the woodland camo. And just for context, I'll put a photo of the woodland camo now. But what I would actually essentially need is maybe something closer to like a modified desert raid BDU. So I'll put another picture for context up now. But besides that, the point of this video is I actually wanted to craft a ghillie suit utilizing the desert raid camo as a base. So this is part one of building a ghillie suit, which is essentially just stripping burlap sack and getting into these fine threads to create like a base. Kind of look like either dead grass or maybe even closer to sand if I can get the color correctly and the grouping of the burlap. Well, you can either use burlap or jute, but I believe they're like the same thing. Well, don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. No military experience, like I said, no military experience, just doing this for airsoft. But we'll be interested maybe to get into that kind of stuff, like military, you know. But anyways, we'll just be stripping this burlap sack and getting it into these fine threads, which is a long and tedious process. Now, if you guys are interested into doing this or building your own or crafting your own ghillie suit, I would say, based off of other sources, it would take approximately maybe 24 to 30 hours, maybe even close to 40 hours, depending on the pace you work at and your experience. So, an example, for instance, if it's your first time like me, it would probably take closer to 40 hours because this is my first time building or crafting a ghillie suit, and I have no prior experience, like I said. But like if you're like a trained military sniper on the other hand, or someone who's crafted a ghillie suit on multiple occasions, then I would say it would be at a much more accelerated rate, maybe close to 24 hours, maybe even less, depending on your rate of work. As I said, you know, each individual has their own rate of work. But yeah, after I turn this jute into like this kind of material, I am planning to dye it a couple colors just to make it blend in more with a desert type background. And then after that, maybe attach like some vegetation onto it, foliage, all that jazz, you know. But anyways, I'll have a time lapse of me doing this. Probably won't like do a time lapse of all of that just because of how long this takes, and the time lapse will start now. Hey guys, so this is a pause in the time lapse just to explain my technique because I kind of forgot to beforehand, so my bad. But essentially, I simply just, if I can get the camera angle correctly. There you go. Oh shit, my tripod. Essentially, I am trying to get like this kind of dead grass or like something like that, like these strands apart, and see how they're like kind of interweaved. So I'm just like pulling them apart, making sure not to like break them. Now this process is quite long and tedious. This is probably one of the longest parts of building a ghillie suit, which is unthreading the jute strings or the burlap sack. So I just pretty much like do this, pull out all the excess strands. It's long and tedious, maybe I should. And so, yeah, I'm essentially separating the vertical strands from the horizontal strands. Just takes some time. Yeah, See, this is a vertical strand. These are horizontal strands here. And I am just trying to get like these long strands. And the good part about this is like I'm separating the horizontal and the vertical strands, which means I won't have to separate these individually while going down, so it's just a one-time process. And when I'm done with that, towards the end I have to use a pair of scissors to cut them. Stronger shears are more ideal, but this is all I had on hand. And when you're done, you should get these kind of long strands of jute that you can use to cut in half and then tie onto your ghillie suit or sew it on. Alright, well, I'll continue to time lapse and get back when I'm done.